Let's take a look at the UI for multi-set animation. The first thing to note is that by default, auto redraw is enabled, which means that if I come here and say Animate Multi-Set, I'm going to be sitting here for the next 20 minutes while it animates all of my output sets. I have 50 of them. And it has to run through this sequence 2 times before I can interrupt it. So the first thing I'm going to do is turn this off, but I think it's a poor choice to have this be enabled by default. All right, second thing we do is we actually select Animate Multi-Set, and let's say we want, first of all, I'm going to set this scale deformation to 0 because these are temperatures, so I just want really the contours. And notice that when I did that, my UI has changed again and I'm back to undeformed. Okay, Animate Multi-Set. All right, let's try, I'm just gonna do the first 8 hours, 11 hours to begin with, okay? Notice that I selected the second output set, and again, the UI went back to undeformed. This is really irritating, okay? At least this time the 58 stuck. Quite often it doesn't. Let's say I want to start with output set 2, and again, boom, collapses. Again, very irritating. Animate multi-set. Notice now that, okay, my first one is 2, but the final has reset back to 50. So I have to go in here again and say, okay, 58 hours. All right, boom, undeformed. Animate multi-set. Okay, now the 1 has again changed. The first one has changed from 2 to 1. I want it to be 2. 2. Animate multi-set. And I'm going to be chasing my tail like this forever. So the only solution that I found to this problem, well, it's easier to do this, 58, and then do this 2, and now Animate multi-set. Finally, I got it to do what I want. So now I can finally actually get it started. Now, there has to be a way to pause or stop this, because if I forgot to turn this off and I had 168 output sets, which is very common for me for a slew with many time steps, I would be sitting here for 20 minutes waiting for it to go once through and then the second time through before I can finally stop it. And then the final thing is it's very useful to have it figure out what the range of the contours is and then stick to that range. But sometimes I want, it would be nice to also be able to animate it the way that it does it at the beginning here, where it shows you the legend and the scale, and it changes for every time step. It would be nice to have an option to do both. So see, it's running through the first time, and now it's the second time it actually is doing the animation. And now you can bring up, if you wanted to, they're supposed to be here. Yeah, this. But this cannot be used to start the animation. This is only once the animation has played through twice. So none of these controls work while this toolbar is up. So anyway, 4 things, I guess. The first one is this should not be enabled by default. Second, whatever is happening here that's causing it to revert back to first and last all the time is really irritating. Third, the fact that any operation anywhere causes this to collapse back to undeformed is also really irritating. Um, and finally, and probably perhaps most importantly, there has to be a way to stop this process in the middle. And I guess number five, um, it would be nice to have an option to be able to have the legend be scaled for each time step rather than for the entire sloop. Thank you.